Hi, my name is Adrian.
And I'm Etta.
And welcome to our channel, How We See Things. And today's topic is going to be about how to heal your soul. So, what do we mean about that?
Yeah. Well, your soul is never really doesn't need any healing. It's your emotion attached to the soul that needs the healing. So when you have gone through a lot of trauma in your life and you feel disconnected to yourself and your soul,
It's where the emotion clutter that energy to the soul. That's why you feel disconnected, that you feel that you need to heal the soul because you try to fill something, a hole, and try to make sense of what you experience. But it gets into the body, it gets into the mind, but the soul, your light, and that is just pure energy, can never be damaged. But it can feel this way.
Because you feel disconnected.
You can feel that it is damaged because you have emotional trauma that you have to go through because we chose to have this wonderful human experience with all the good and bad, how we want to look at it. But that is really what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And if you have gone through some trauma in your life that makes you feel disconnected to yourself, to your soul, it's very important if you want to get connection to, we said this before, to heal yourself. And the only way to do that is to go through the motion, to go through the pain. Don't try to put it in the boxes, because when you do, the box will just surface up again and again in your life.
Yeah, you really need to go into the emotion and let yourself feel it.
Into the
pain, into the fear, so you feel it, so you get it out of your system. And work out of it, because a lot of people are like afraid to feel the feeling, that it is something wrong to feel, because a lot of people say in this day that you only need to think positive, so it doesn't sound like you're not allowed to have other kind of these feelings. But that is what I think a lot of people, when they say thinking positive, doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have this emotion, but it can sound like you diminish to allow to have sadness and grieving and this experience, because it can sound like you are saying you're not allowed, but that is not what I think positive thinking is meaning. But sometimes you do have to go
into it. Yeah. And it's okay. It's also, I want to mention, it's okay to feel these feelings. It is you have to feel these feelings. You have to go into these feelings and deal with these feelings and be honest with yourself, what happened to you and how you felt about it. And if you don't know where these feelings are coming from, still feel the emotion, still feel it, still go through it. Just make, and if it is taking you a long time, and that's okay. Don't, we all go through things differently. We all go through things in our own pace, and it's okay.
Also, time is an illusion anyway, so we're not supposed to compare how fast we get out of this, or how we take the time, what you feel, and it's as long as you get out on the other end. That is what really is important. How long, how doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to mention: don't punish yourself to feel these feelings, and don't forget that you are a light being having a temporary human experience, and when I say human experience, it's human emotions. Don't the first thing we tend to do is to punish ourselves. How could I let this happen to me? How could I be so weak? How why would we go through all kinds of we're really good at punishing ourselves all the time. So don't do that. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to have this emotion. and allow yourself to heal from this. Yeah. It is hard to explain, but just make sure you don't get stuck in it. And if you feel like you're having a hard time dealing with this, then
get somebody, a friend, get to group session there, because if you talk about it also, that your experience, you will notice that a lot of people not having the same experience but have similar experience. Yeah. And when you talk, you're actually healing yourself, but you're also helping others, and that's why some of these groups, why it works very wonderful when it is in the right timing for you, if you want to share.
Yeah.
You don't feel forced to it. Or writing, artistry, make music, paint, as long as you start working with it. Because the other thing is that a lot of people also like, it's important not to get stuck to it, and then this phrase comes, let it go. And yes, they are right to that it needs to be let go. But you can't let it go if you don't understand what it is, because then it will still repeat because you have not dealt with it. You really can't let go of something you don't know what is. So that means that you still have to go into it. But as soon as you have dealt with it, then you need to learn how to let go of it. Because a lot of people stay and expect the same thing over and over to happen, even they have gone through all the emotion and get stuck into that emotion. And it's not easy to let go. It's not easy to let go whatever you are attached to. That is not easy. You have to make a decision to let go. But that has to happen on your own accord when you feel it's time to let go.
Actually, also my experience with this, when people told me, oh, Etta, let go, you're strong enough, you can handle this. I felt like they were just kind of brushing me off. They really didn't understand what I was going through. They really didn't understand what I'm feeling, and they were not even interested into try to understand. They're just more like, but that's just my experience. They were more just like patting me on the shoulder. This is going to be da-da-da. When I really just needed a shoulder to cry on, or somebody to understand what I was really going through, or didn't even understand sometimes what I was going through. I just had all of these raw emotions, overwhelming. So it's
or let you be in that emotion, even though they don't understand. Don't try, like I said, don't diminish the other person's experience, because there are that even though certain people have this experience, and that can be a lot of them, and you maybe have gone something a lot deeper in a very different way, and a lot of people diminish, like, okay, you're strong enough, I know, I've seen you, you're strong, you can keep on trucking.
Yeah, keep on trucking with a false face, because you don't deal with anything. Because when sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when people said this to me, though, I felt like, okay, I wasn't normal, this was not normal. So I just put it in a box, and months, years later, this same thing surfaced up again. It's not that these people didn't have, some of them didn't have a good attention, but as I got older, I understand people are really busy with themselves.
Yeah, and sometimes also people don't know what to do.
No, exactly.
And then they try to do something, and then they have read this kind of books that they say that you need to think positive, and they haven't really gone in depth, and they say this not necessarily in intention to diminish, but sometimes they do, because as people we are not always that good to listening to what other people have to say, because we try to find, okay, what should I say at this moment?
You're too busy thinking of it.
Yeah, we're thinking and don't hear it, what the people are saying. And also, because there are no recipe, really. Because certain people need a hug and this kind of, and other people really don't respond that well to it, and really respond to people pushing and saying, you know, you really
strong
need enough, you're strong, you really need to hear it in this way. So it's no recipe, and that's what we're trying to say. It's no recipe. That what really is important, not diminish, and actually listen and let the person be who they are. and try to do the best that you can to help yourself helping others when they're in this situation. But really, really do try to listen and try to feel what they are feeling, the empathic side of it. And really just feel and talk and listen to each other. I think that will be, and you will find more ways, because it is no one way. So this is just many different aspects. I have certain things going through. I have done different things. I am actually a dancer, and I love to usually work through a lot of my experience through movement and art to deal with my process then rather than talking, because I like to move my physical body. That is how I usually deal with my what I have experienced in life. When I get really frustrated, angry, I like to dance angry. I like to put this emotion through dance, and that is not necessarily for everybody, but that is how I use. I used to like I like to write. And she can also tell you that I don't like to talk that much about things. I've never been my way. And I still don't feel it is my way I want to share, but it's not my way how I like to start dealing with things, because that doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah, but I also want to mention, if you don't feel that you have found somebody that you can share your story with, or what you are feeling and what you're going through, my way was to beat up a pillow, scream, talk to myself, cry, allow myself to go through this, even though I didn't know what I was going through. I just knew I had this pain that I needed to get out, so it didn't poison my soul, poison my being.
Poison your body and your mind.
Yeah. So, but then also another thing that I also found out when I started to not be ashamed of what happened to me, and starting to share with others what had happened to me, I found out this was nothing. This has happened to, similar things has happened to a lot of people, and the more I talked about it, the more I healed myself and help others to heal themselves. Because the energy that you put out, this energy will drag in. And what I noticed when I really needed to talk, when I started talking about it, not maybe in the beginning, but after a while, I started to attract people that were going through very similar experiences, so we could share. I could not find any group. I did not want to share this with any group either. But one-on-one, that was very nice. So I recommend for you to, if you don't have somebody to talk to yourself. Beat up a pillow, scream, but go through the motion.
Yeah,
through the motion.
That's the whole thing, that go through the motion. If there is the bang the pillow, or write or scream in the woods, or through painting, whatever makes you start this, so you can go into it, because there are many ways to go into this for you. You just need to just say, so if you don't know what to do, you can now try a lot of different things, but you've been saying that you can try to scream in the pillow,
beat the pillow,
or beat the pillow, or throw it, jump on it, all these kind of things, or find somebody to talk to in a group, with a psychiatrist. All of this that finds that you feel like, okay, this is resonating with me, so I can start, and you don't feel diminished. But the other thing I think really should talk about later on is the word shame, because that is a big topic, because that is a very thing that usually comes with this.
Yeah, so, but I also realized when I was feeling all this emotion, I felt that the abuser still had a hold of me. And I did not want that abuser to have a hold on me. I did not want that abuser controlling my life. Therefore, and I know if you're watching this, you also feel the same way. You want to break free and be your whole self, be the beautiful self that you are. So we recommend to
that you already are.
that you already are, because and when you have gone through that process and you have healed yourself with help of yourself or others or the divine, you helpers.
You can always ask me also.
Yeah. You will feel more connected to the divine, to yourself, to your soul, your spark. So don't shove these feelings in a box. Know these feelings are very normal to have when you have gone through any kind of abuse
or traumas or whatever you experienced in life.
And don't beat yourself up with bad thoughts. I recommend that the first thing you start by try to heal yourself is to change the way you think about yourself. And that it's okay to be the human self with these human emotions, and you don't have to beat yourself up. Yeah, I said this again. Repeat. Yeah, but that's what I believe. You have to repeat. Because of this, the abuser, they actually got a hold of you subconscious, your unconscious.
Project a bit.
Yeah, so you need to work it out and take it out and put your own.
Yeah, but also if you go into trauma, sometimes you do go into a pattern.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes, even though you don't see the pattern. But like you said, if you start changing how you look at yourself in a different light, that you are more kind to yourself, even though you feel this emotion. Because sometimes we can be very destructive to ourselves when we get this emotion. But still try to have this kindness to yourself, to allow yourself to feel this without beating yourself up in the process.
Yeah, and don't blame yourself. Okay, for what happened. Don't blame yourself for the situation.
Yeah, and this word I should have also really should really get out of the vocabulary. I should have seen this coming. I should have known better. This is something also really needs to be taken out of the vocabulary and in the thought process, because that is just pure poison towards yourself. It's not gonna to help.
So stay strong. Allow yourself to feel everything, and find somebody to talk to. And if you don't, beat a pillow, scream.
Find your way.
Yeah, and know that your soul is not damaged. It's the emotions and the experience that is attached to it. The soul is always...
Your beautiful light will never be damaged.
No, you just don't feel connected to it because of this overwhelming feelings. So,
oh no.
Yeah. So don't forget, you are absolutely amazing just because you are you, and stay strong.
And always shine bright with your light.
We'll see you next week. So if you want to follow us, please hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. And leave us a comment. We like to hear comments.
Hear from you.
We like to grow with you.
And also hit the like or dislike button. We also like to really, it helps us.
Yeah. So have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye.